सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय बिन्दुनादान्तरात्मने आदिमध्यान्तशून्याय गुरूणां गुरवे नमः। नमस्ते चिदचिद्वर्गसंरक्षणविचक्षणे जगद्विधानशिल्पिन्यै विष्णुपत्न्यै नमोऽस्तु ते। करकमलनिदर्शितात्ममुद्रः परिकलितोन्नतबर्हिबर्हचूडः इतरकरगृहीतवेप्त्रतोत्रः मम हृदि सन्निधिमातनोतु शौरिः। आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम्। धर्मात्मा सत्यसन्धश्च रामो दाशरथिर्यदि पौरुषे च प्रतिद्वन्द्वः शरैनं जहि रावणिम्. Welcome back, everybody, to the continuation of Iswara to Swara series, hovering around Ramayana. This almost seems like, ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking from the deck kind of announcement, isn't it? Every time we begin, we are flying at so and so altitude, we are so far away from our destination. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. So, apart from the last part, I guess the rest of the things are quite similar, because in a long series, it's very easy to get complacent. But luckily for us, I guess the kind of changes that we have had in this system has allowed us to not be complacent in our journey. So had it gone in a similar way, maybe we might have lost track. But now that your faces are quite visible to me, you all look quite brilliant and pleasant. So that brings a fresh energy back to me. And halfway through the greatest attributes of a great man, Rama, and we have another half to finish. So we are going to start off today with the second half of the attributes that Valmiki lists out. A quick recap of what all gunas we have so far covered and what have we made of Rama so far in terms of these attributes. I want you to forget about the story, the prejudice, the other interpretations, representations, ideas that one may have about Rama. Keep all those things aside. Just look at from the perspective of these qualities. 8 qualities we have listed down. And why I'm saying that every time, this is called a Simhavalokanam. Okay. And there is a huge value in doing the Simhavalokanam. Why it is called a Simhavalokanam, not any other Avalokanam? Avalokanam means to see. Loka means to see, basically. Lokr lochane is the dhatu. So Lokanam means to see, to watch, to observe. Avalokanam means to observe very keenly. Okay. It is not Kannada Avalokanam, Avalokanam. Avun nodtane anarthadalli. In some parts of the southernmost part of Karnataka, especially in the regions of Chamarajanagar, Kollegal, and all these areas, people use the word for him, he, and him. They usually use the word ava iva. Ivanu avanu is usually used as ava iva. So it's kind of a peculiar tone to it. So when we say avalokanam, it is not that kind of avaloka. It is basically avalokanam is keen observation that we have. And there are plenty of places where we do practice this keen observation. Okay. And most prominently, the place where we use this keen observation skills is at least 4 times in a year, in a calendar year. You know what I'm talking about. Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Okay. If you are into corporate, this is a very, very common term. They'll put up a PPT, they'll put up a presentation, and then they'll tell you that our Q1 results are so and so. We need to improve Q2, like this. So this Simhavalokanam or this Avalokanam, the concept of observing, is quite evidently present in every work that we do. That's the first premise that I wanted to establish. It's not an alien concept that we are introducing. The word is also quite popular Back in those days, we used to have revision classes, if you remember. I mean, at least when we were children, we used to have these revision classes where whatever has been taught in the above months, it will be revised once again. So that revision, they used to say that even if you have missed many classes, it's okay, don't miss the revision classes. It's kind of so much of emphasis was put on revision. So this revision and revisiting is required for refinement. That is why revision is so important. And in nature, do we find any such habit? Do we find any creature that practices this avalokanam? Any animal that takes revision quite seriously? There is one animal, and that animal is Simha. See, we have plenty of animals, and we have seen many animals walk. And depending upon the way a person walks, their style of walk is equated, is kind of compared with these animals. We have Gajagamanam, we have Hamsagamanam, we have Simhagatihi, we have Vrishabhagatihi. Vrishabhagatihi has gone out of fashion. Nobody uses that anymore, but Ramayana uses that, Vrishabhagatihi. Vrishasimha Viva. Valmiki uses that to compare or to describe how both Rama and Lakshmana walked, especially to Mithila when they were entering the Sabha of Janaka. This is how Vrishaskandha Viva. Vrishaskandha Viva, just like built like a bull. That's how strongly built both of them were. And they walked like a bull. Those are some descriptions. 3, 4 of them, which are quite popular. Of course, Hamsagamana, Gajagamana are very popular, quite frequently used in various fields, especially in the fields of arts. You find it quite Samajavaragamana, isn't it? So that's a very famous reference as well. So similarly, there is this gati called as Simhagati. And what is this Simhagati? What does it denote? What is the significance of Simhagati? Simhagati, usually, if you have observed how a lion walks, don't tell me that lion walks majestically. We are not talking about in that sense. A lion, it takes 10 steps at a time. I mean, please don't count it by watching a National Geography channel or some Discovery Channel videos. Okay. Uh, I mean, of course, this fact might not have been told by our Sir David Attenborough. Just because he hasn't told, it doesn't mean that this doesn't exist as an animal behavior. David Attenborough, at the age of 90, in the late 90s, he has become the prominent figure. He has become the final word when it comes to animal world, isn't it? Fabulous. I mean, hands down to him. He was a simple broadcaster, and look at him now. I'm a big fan of David Attenborough, by the way, but just the way he has scaled things up, that's remarkable. Anyway, coming back to the fact that even though this particular fact might not have been told in the documentaries on animal world and animal kingdom, however, this swabhava, this behavior, does exist with Simha. It takes a few steps, it pauses, and it looks back. It takes a glance at the way it has walked, and it continues to do so. No matter how many miles it has to walk, it doesn't matter. Every few steps later, it pauses, takes a look back, and then proceeds. Now, when it comes to Adhyayanam, they say that Simhagati, Simhavalokana Gati, is very important. Okay. And one more context I'll just drop in just to ensure that you all are thrilled to be part of this. And also, maybe some people might even take this as me showing off my different expertises as well. However, you want to perceive, it's up to you. So, when it comes to Jyotisha, there are several gatis as well. So, several avalokanam as well. So, we also consider how a certain graha is actually looking at some other graha. The drishti of a graha is described in several ways. Simhavalokana, Markatavalokana, Mandukavalokana. There are several types of avalokanam as well in Jyotisha. So this avalokanam, this observation, we tend to see a lot of similarities and we get a lot of insights on how to look at things from the nature around us, from the world around us. So one such example is the Simhavalokanam, which gives us this fantastic idea of revision. So very quickly, at times it is important for us to get back from where we started. Okay. Why I said all this premise is only to ensure that you are not getting bored because I keep repeating the same 8 qualities that we have discussed so far. But it is very important, because if we forget about these fundamental 8, then we may not get the idea of how things are going to be posed in the later half of Ramayana. So now he started with Gunavan, and we discussed in length about Guna here definitely refers to Atma Gunas. Okay, so he's bestowed with Atma Gunas. All right, then comes Viryavan, the sheer strength of a person to ensure that the Atma Gunas are taken care. So no obstacles or no hurdles or nothing can actually affect him, and that anything that can compromise and complicate the condition, the natural condition of Atma Gunas is considered as a threat. And the ability to get rid of those threats is what courage is all about. Okay, to ensure that we live in a safe border, to ensure that we are in a safe border, that is Viryavan. So Gunavan, Kascha Viryavan, and then we discussed in length. I think probably the most discussed quality of Rama is Dharmajna. We took the example of Vali, and I sincerely hope that even if we have understood any one of them properly, then we know how difficult it is to be Rama, or how difficult it is to emulate or even follow Rama. But try we must. It's not that just because it is impossible, just because it is difficult, it doesn't mean that we have to run away from it. We have to practice. So Dharmajna, then came Kritajna. So gratitude, how Rama has expressed his gratitude in various places, whether it is Sugriva, whether it is Vibhishana, whether it is Jatayu. In so many places he has expressed his gratitude. So Gunavan, Kaschaviryavan, Dharmajnascha, Kritajnascha. And then comes Satyavakya, his vrata, his decision or his stand to speak the truth and truth alone. Nowhere do we find Rama compromising with the truth. So basically, the idea of Satya is that which remains the same in all 3 phases of time: past, present, and future. It doesn't change. Okay, that is Trikala Badhitatvam Satyatvam. So the Trikala Badhitatva is found in Rama's behavior. Ramo Dvirna Bhibhashate, and all these words resonate how Rama was firmly, Raghukularita Sada Chaliyai, Pranajay Par Vachana Najay. So all these things indicate and they deeply put a value on Satyavakya. And then came Dridhavrata, how he practiced that vrata. Abhayam sarvabhutebhyo dadami tad vratam mama. Not to forget that when there was quite a dilemma between all the people who had assembled for Rama, and when the question came to the fact whether we should accept Vibhishana or not, that's where Rama makes this bold statement that Vibhishano va Sugriva yadiva Ravana swayam. It's not just about Vibhishana. Even if Ravana comes himself and surrenders, then Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyo Dadami Etat Vratam Mama. To follow that as a vrata, it is remarkable. And we also saw the imprints of this vrata highlighted in Yoga Shastra as well. We quoted from Yoga Sutras because I did not see you people during all these times. So that's why it is an opportunity for me to see whether you all remember those things or not. I remember, but it's just a test whether the audience are also equally familiar with all these stories that we have shared. So, all right. And then Charitrena Chako Yuktaha, the strongest qualities that was mentioned. It may seem like a very normal thing, quite not so important, not so significant thing when we consider the current day scenario. Especially the current day scenario, we think that Charitrena Chako Yuktaha should not be of that importance. Mainly because of the difference that he has mentioned: Charitrena, Kulachara, and Yuktaha. Nityatvam. So we discussed it from two different perspectives. So when they said that Charitrena and Charitra refers to Nitya Kulachara, Yuktaha refers to Nitya Yukta. So he is consistently involved in his Kulachara, which has come down in a consistent manner. Neither the flow has broken, nor his consistency to maintain that flow has broken. There is no break in both of them. So that's a very rare quality to possess. That speaks volumes about the upbringing. See, when we talk about upbringing, okay, sometimes it irks people, it irritates people. You know, a few years ago, by few years I mean like around 4 or 5 decades ago, if someone had told that a person should belong to belong to a noble birth, people would have said, yeah, okay, we understand the value, because they had seen few examples of such matter. Nowadays, if you say this kind of line, if you make such an impression on people, people will shoot you, because they don't appreciate this kind of interaction, or this line of argument itself is going to be dismissed by people, unfortunately. But the same set of people, imagine if they do their MBA in human resource management from top IIMs. Okay, they sit on this side of the table, and when they have to hire people and fire people, bindas, without fail, they use all these things. You know, they judge. They take a deeper look into the upbringing. Here, the upbringing begins from maybe where did you go to school in 12th or 10th, maybe. Starting from there, they observe your track record. Is that fine? The same people, logically speaking, the same people, they judge a person. Just randomly, you have met your cousins after a very long time. Say around 15 years, you haven't met each other. And finally, you make acquaintance with them after a very long time. You begin chatting. I mean, not texting, but one-on-one. You begin a conversation, and you both share your journey in your career, whether it is arts, humanities, or science, or IT, whatever field it is. If they also happen to be from the same background, let me give you a glimpse of how that conversation usually goes. Okay. Person A, consider it to be yourself. You are just giving them a bird eye view of, or maybe slide by slide. You gave them a sequential description of your career. I started my career here, then I jumped here, then I had to take a break for a couple of years. I did this course, that you mentioned that. आगे वाला जो होता है ना, I mean, the person sitting on that side, they will act as if they are listening very keenly. They will be judging. Now, how do I better this? Okay, then they will present their sequence. So both of us will be judging each other. Okay, and then we'll come to certain conclusion that he had it easy. पैसे वाले थे, plenty of money. That's why he could afford IAM. He could not afford IAM. All these things go on in our mind, and we judge plenty. That upbringing is very important. And when we see somebody's growth, when we see somebody's potential, ಅವ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೆ ನಾವು, ಎಂತೆಂಥ ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ಓದಿಯಾರ ಅವರು ಅಂತ. So just look at the track record. He has always been a brilliant student. From day one, he has been a brilliant student. So is that not highlighting the fact of upbringing? It is, but nobody wants to use the word upbringing anymore. That's all. But upbringing is very important, because it gives you a glimpse into what kind of discipline exists in place, in that house, in that situation, whatever the condition is at home. Did they allow this person to be disciplined or not, or was some discounts given to that person? It matters a lot. It surely matters a lot. We may realize it, we may not admit it. We will realize it by ourselves, but we may not admit it to the world. But we do know that if only if we also had someone who could have been more disciplined with us, maybe our life would have been different. Every time you meet a soldier, an army man, you get that sense, isn't it? Maybe if we had someone in our childhood, maybe from our family, who could have just told us how to be disciplined, maybe my life would have been more different. Maybe I could have been more disciplined. Or if only my parents also showed the same amount of interest and intensity towards self-care, physical health, maybe I would rather be not lying around on my bed, but I would also be hitting the gym by now. Everybody thinks like this, so it matters. So whatever the conditioning is readily available at home matters a lot, and how much we adhere to it, how much we follow it devotedly and dedicatedly also matter a lot, because you find both kinds of results. A family which has no discipline at all, you will find a person who by their own discipline has risen. And even in the families of greatly disciplined people, you will find people who are quite aloof and throwing away their life. So both sets of examples are available to us. Therefore, with both these contradicting examples that we have in life, we can come to conclusion that how much importance is given for the kulachara, the equal amount of importance should be given to our adherence to that kulachara as well. That is the reason why Valmiki split those two things. He said charitrena yukta kaha. So that yuktatvam should be there. My dedication towards kulachara also counts. Kulachara by itself also counts. Does that make sense? Because Rama was and many people think that it's okay to it's like born into a great family, a noble family. It's like born with a silver spoon. It's not so. It's not at all so. See, if you have a great team, and as a player, you will understand how difficult it is to break into that playing 11. You might be hugely talented, but the 11 people who have been playing consistently, they are there for a reason, and they prove it time and again. Every single day they prove why they are so vital in this entire team, isn't it? So that goes on to show the yuktatvam part, the dedicated part, the devotedly how they are doing their job. And the discipline of the entire team also matters. If the culture of the team is built on winning mentality, so that is the kulachara, and any player who comes there and does the hard yards and puts in 100% effort, and then he or she contributes and becomes a part of that successful culture, the continuation of the culture of the club, we appreciate them, isn't it? I can give a precise example from football, but I will resist myself from giving you a generic view of how teamwork matters. So you do understand how kulachara, the mentality, the culture of the place, and our adherence to it, the way I adapt myself to this culture matters. Hopefully, no HR is listening to all these things, because they can twist it and use it for their own benefits in their company. This is our company culture. This is how you should be. Anyway, so Charitrena Chako we saw how Rama followed his Kula Dharma to the T, to the core. And then Sarva Bhuteshu Kohitaha, I think this is where we had, this was the last attribute that we discussed in length. So Sarva Bhuta Hitakarakatvam, that genuine compassion towards all creatures, which is again a rare quality to possess. It's not every day that everybody will be compassionate towards all creatures. If you're having a bad day, and if you meet someone who needs compassion, अरे जाओ यार, मेरे जीवन में पल्ले पड़े हुए हैं, and you are asking me to help others. That's not the way the world works, actually, isn't it? So we can speak a great deal about all these things, but when, as they say, when the push comes to shove, you get to know who stays and who goes. So these attributes may very well seem to be quite normal on a surface level, not very intense, not very deep. It may appear so, but when you add these attributes and multiply, not add, when you multiply these attributes with consistency, that's when the true color of our nature gets exposed. The reason, I mean, the fact remains the same, that I'm not suggesting that all of us present here do not possess any of these qualities. That is not my intention. We all know that we do possess all these qualities. Tell me honestly, have we not been blessed with atma gunas? Have we not shown courage at times? We have done, but we do it conveniently. That's our problem. We do understand dharma. We stand by dharma only when it suits us, when it is convenient for us, not at all times. We show gratitude when we actually value the other person. Not just that, the other person is also valuing, is also acknowledging your gratitude. That's when you love to acknowledge them. If the other person is like, if their attitude is like that, you may acknowledge their contribution once, twice, maximum, and then ಬಹಳ ಕೊಬ್ಬು ಅವನಿಗೆ, ತುಂಬಾ arrogance, ತುಂಬಾ ದುರಹಂಕಾರ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ. See, how many students have not walked away like this from their teachers? Tell me. Hundreds, I know. So there are certain points, certain marmika points, which you are not supposed to touch because it hurts. And I know those points. And sometimes I deliberately press it. Sometimes I refrain myself from doing such kind of antics because it's not good. It is not in good taste. But at times we need to hold a mirror to ourselves and ask this question, that have I been truly truthful to all these attributes? We have experienced all these attributes in shades, in bits and parts, but not in its entirety, not in its consistent manner. That's the reason, that's the difference that exists between us and Rama, isn't it? The reason why Rama is because he possessed all these attributes in a consistent manner. Whereas we follow kulachara when it suits us and we leave. Sarvabhuta hitakaraka, same thing. Dridha vrata, we follow vrata only until the vrata is actually giving you some sort of direct consequences, direct outcomes. I've been doing Ekadashi Vratam. It really helps. Intermittent fasting. It really helps me, helps with my metabolism, that this nonsense. Okay. As long as it is helping you in that manner, which is kind of tangible, even our understanding of outcomes are supposed to be tangible for us. If they are not tangible, then we will leave them aside. So that has been our problem. Okay, with each and every quality that we have spoken. Satyavakya, to don't even ask me to open my mouth. We have given up on Satyavakya a long time ago. Like back in our childhood itself, we have given up on Satyavakya. Okay. A lot has also been the problem of, I should not say this out loud, but the way the situations were handled in the families as well. Conveniently, they would give some sort of shady examples and give us this idea that at times it is okay to lie. Because not only would they say this out loud, they would act so as well. Obviously, we will imitate, no? That's how we learn things. So we take a look at the way they have handled things. And obviously, we think that, oh, maybe once in a while, lying is okay. Now, the discipline is gone. So that is where this particular charitrena chako yuktaha is not there. That kulachara is not very strong because our kulachara itself has become very weak. Therefore, I mean, it's not, I'm not saying all these things to be blaming our ancestors, but at least now we have an opportunity to rectify ourselves, to correct ourselves, correcting the course and taking it further. We can always set a fine example to our children, isn't it? This is what Krishna told Arjuna as well. Yadyad acharati shresthaha tattadeve taro janaha, isn't it? sa yat pramanam kurute lokastad anuvartate. The world is always going to follow great men, and therefore men is a gender neutral word here, great people. Okay, so if we set a fine example, then the world will follow. I fondly remember an incident from the great Australian batsman Ricky Ponting's life history. It's presented in his, he has mentioned that in his biography, autobiography. So he recalls that there was a person who asked this question to Ricky Ponting when he was walking out for his last test match in Hobart, I guess, in Australia. He was playing his last test match. And the gentleman asked him that you have achieved so many things. He's a serial winner. He's a legend of the game, by the way. And he had established himself. There was nothing that he needed to prove to anybody. But the gentleman saw him, the way Ricky Ponting was preparing himself and how he was upset when he got out and all these things. So in a candid conversation, when the gentleman asked Ricky Ponting that, why would you, put so much of effort even in your last test match? It's okay. You can go out, have fun and come back. It doesn't matter. He prompted and he told him that, see, I do understand that in the ground, if there are around 40,000 people, 39,000 or maybe 39,500 people might have already witnessed me playing all these years. But there could also be some 100 odd children who would have come to ground for the very first time. Okay. And they would be looking up to a certain big name. That is called as responsibility. So when you understand what kind of responsibility you owe to the society, agreed that we may not be at the level of Ricky Ponting. Okay. We may not have that influence over hundreds and thousands of people. However, we do have the ability to influence two or three people. At least in our home setup, we can influence two or three people, especially the children. So for them, their parents are their heroes. When the heroes at home fail to impress the children, that's when children start looking at some other heroes. Therefore, it is our moral obligation to set the right example to children. That is why Kulachara and the Kulachara Yuktatvam, the dedication towards Kulachara, are equally important. All right, just a quick recap. 40 minutes I've dedicated to just take you through a journey of what all things we have accumulated so far. And now there are few things that are going to top up all the basic ingredients. Now, these are the 8 base qualities that any person should possess. Now, upon this, it's like adding cherry on the top. What is the 9th one? He says, Vidwan. You should be a scholar. After all these things, imagine that he is also well read. He could be compassionate to others. He can be following dedicatedly his kulachara. He can be grateful. He is truthful. He is dharmagnya, and he follows things as a staunchly as a vrata. And he has atmagunas. He has the courage to defend that. All these things are there. And if all these things are backed up by scholarship, उसकी बात ही अलग होती है, isn't it? So we usually say that vidya dadati vinayam, isn't it? So basically, if someone is blessed with scholarship, if someone is supposed to be understood as a scholar, then how do you identify a scholar? You identify a scholar in the way they interact with people, in the way they act when nobody is watching them. When the whole world is looking at them, they will act as if doodh ka dula, as they say it in Hindi. Okay, they act as if they are the best version of the humanity. But when nobody is seeing, do they still have the same adherence? Do they still have the same discipline? That's what matters. That's what true scholarship actually does. Okay. That's why Vidwan or Vidvat is one of the qualities that Valmiki is asking. See, these things can be passed on to us, the things that we just discussed. All right. Atmavan ko jita krodha. Sorry. गुणवान कश्च वीर्यवान धर्मज्ञश्च कृतज्ञश्च सत्यवाक्य दृढ़व्रत चारित्रेण चको युक्तः and सर्वभूतेषु कोहितः. All these things does not require any sort of special studies. You see, you need not be aware of things. It is something that you practice, that you imbibe, that you are disciplined. It's a way of life that you have opted, or you are shown the path that you behave like this, you're sorted. So it is that kind of a behavior, or it is that kind of a pathway that is laid out for us, isn't it? Without knowing what dharma is, do we not follow dharma? Have we not followed dharma? We may not know what is the significance of lighting a lamp, but we do follow lighting the lamp before beginning anything. So there are many such things that we have been following. So that's why they are all action oriented. But just imagine when the activities that we do, our actions, when they are backed up by logic, when they are backed up by scholarship, then there is no way that you will sway away from the path of dharma. Most of the times, people give up on dharma, people give up on all these values simply because they would not have understood the depth of it. So that understanding of the depth of all the qualities mentioned above and that are going to be mentioned again, you need the ability to comprehend the depth of these qualities. For that, what do you need? You need vidvat, not a degree. Vidvat in dance, vidvat in music, vidvat in Samskrita, not that kind of vidvat. So a deep understanding, a genuine understanding is needed. Okay. Does that make sense? There is no doubt that you can be a great person if you follow the rules diligently. However, you will be more valuable if you understood why this discipline is required, why such a rule exists in the first place, and how it is actually helping me in preserving Atmahita. So, for understanding what is Atmahita, for understanding what is Daivahita, for understanding what is Lokahita, what is needed? Very simple. We need Vidvat. That is why Sarvabhuteshu ko hitaha. But because hita is something that you cannot simply get it. Okay, you need to understand it, you need to comprehend it. And in order to comprehend what is hita, what is the next essential quality that is needed? Vidvat, isn't it? It's very, very important. Time to take a look into the commentators. What is their opinion on the word vidvat? See, previously, you have seen me that I kind of, or I might have come across as if I criticized Ramayana Tilaka. Okay, Tilakakara. So this is the best thing that they teach you while doing research. आप किसी के नहीं होते. That's the best thing that you can learn from research, is that you are nobodies. If you get biased even for a second, you are done, finished. Because once the prejudice gets in, then they are not researchers. They are mouthpieces. They are spokesperson. They are not researchers. True researcher will always remain unbiased, non-prejudiced. And take a look at that. So in the very next word, when it comes to defining what is Vidvat, look at the way Tilakakara has defined Vidvat and the way that Shiromanikara, who was excellent in describing Sarvabhuteshu Kohitaha, but while describing Vidvat or Vidwan, he is kind of okay. He's kind of mediocre. Whereas Tilakakara hits it out of the park. So he says, Vidwan, this is the commentary of Tilaka. He says that Atmanatma Sakala Padartha Tattvajnaha. Fabulous. Sakala Padartha Tattvajnaha. That is what it is needed. If we do not understand each and every item or each and every element that is existing in this world or that forms an integral part of this existence, this whole creation, then how will you ever be able to achieve lokahita? If I don't know, if I have never comprehended, if I have never understood what is the swabhava of a tree, what makes a tree, what makes a rock, what makes an animal, if I don't know about any of these things, can I still remain being pleasant to them, being compassionate towards them? I don't think so. Because at times we need this vidvat. This is what vidvat is. This is what scholarship is. So my guru, my teacher back in Kashi, he used to tell me that what is the greatest quality a sahridaya should have? Because we were basically from Sahitya field, literature. So in literature, Sahridaya is considered to be of highest order. He is the one to whom the poets cater. Usually. They are the equivalents of Rasikas when it comes to Sangeeta and Natya. Okay. So these Sahridayas, what is the quality of a Sahridaya? How should a Sahridaya ideally be? The answer that he used to give is it is not found in any text, by the way. He used to give this definition, is to say that, see, so baat ki ek baat. And if you just bring the essence of all the definitions of Sahridaya and you have to present it in front of anybody, you just have to tell them that paradukha katarata. To have a heart that is capable enough to respond to somebody else's or something else's misery. And when will heart respond to that? Only when it has actually understood what it is going through. See, just a plain example, we never know what a plant is going through, whether it is painful or pleasantness, we never know. Then log Instagram में घूमते फिरते हैं. I'm a plant mother. I'm a plant mommy. What nonsense. चार पौधे क्या उगा दिया? They keep calling themselves as plant mothers, plant parents. Stop this ridiculous, nonsensical things. I mean, हमारे बुजुर्ग जो है, our पूर्वजास, our ancestors, acres together of land they cultivated. They never called themselves as plant parents. And don't even get me started on pet parents. Nonsense of the highest order. So the world is they have got a free hand at language. They think that they can use the language however they want, and they're abusing the language. That's all. This is all just an abuse of language. There should be some sense when we coin a term, isn't it? Where is the sense? What do you mean by plant parent? You don't even know what that plant is going through. You don't even know the ABCD of that plant. You call yourself a plant parent, right? Okay, anyway, sometimes, you have to just let it go. So in order to attain that lokahita or sarvabhuta hita, the most essential quality that will complement sarvabhuta hita is vidvat. Therefore, atma, anatma. What is atma hita? What is not atma? But still, it requires a certain care. Just because it is not atma, you're not going to destroy the world, isn't it? Have you ever seen any rishi destroying, any brahmajnani destroying the entire creation, entire world? Because everything is mithya. Just because Bhagavad Pada Shankaracharya said, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, did he destroy the world? No, he did not. Or did he give a call that kafiron ko maar do, etc., etc.? See, the basic difference that exists between the thought process. We did call the Jagat as Mithya, but we did not call to eliminate the world. There is a huge difference between both of those things. So that goes on to show lack of vidvatta, that's all. When you hand over things to idiots, this is what happens. When idiots run the world, this is how they run. Anything that is not related to them, they want to destroy it. Forgetting the fact that they can't survive without the support system. I'm a part of the nature. I can't destroy the nature and still plan on living. Now, in Sankhya Darshana, they give a beautiful example for this. They say that there was a snake, a poisonous snake, a venomous snake. Okay. It was scorching heat, it was scorching summer. And the snake was irritated by the heat that was there at that moment. So the snake decided that it is all caused because of this dry grass. It was surrounded by the dry grass. It was slithering around in the dry field, and the grass had dried out, and it was irking. It was irritating the snake. On top there is heat, and on the ground it is itching and it is irritating the snake. And the snake decided that I can use my venom. It's very powerful because it has got fire, no? The venom is basically made out of fire. So let me use this venom and clean the surroundings. It did spit the fire. You know what happened? The surroundings got cleaned. Of course, the snake also got burnt because it forgot that it is also part of the entire thing. That's what happens most of the times. So for this matter, we need to understand what is Atma, what is Anatma, what is not Atma. But at the same time, it is not that just because we are calling it as Anatma, it is not in a negative connotation. People usually take it in a negative manner, isn't it? Atma means, oh, this is all positive. Anatma means, oh, a negative. It is not in a negative sense. It is just that it is not. It is negating connotation, not negative connotation. Negating is the differentiation, the discernment, viveka. This is separate and this is separate. That kind of a buddhi. Okay. Atmanatma sakala padartha tattvajna. That's it. He needs to know everything. There shouldn't be a thing on this God's green earth under the sun that he doesn't know. That should be the kind of ability, that is the kind of vidvat that one needs to have. If they have to be a great administrator, don't you think they need the understanding of all these things? If they have to take care of the world, they can't go and say that I'm not an environmentalist, so therefore global warming is not my concern. Only idiots will dismiss global warming and destroy the trade relationships with us as well, isn't it? Some politics here or there, it's also required. Who on earth would do such kind of a nonsensical thing, you tell me? Yeah, anyway. Yeah. May he live a long life. That's all we can ask. Anyway, coming back to the point. So, Sakala Padartha Tattvajna. It's not just about Sakala Padartha Jnanam. If that was the case, then the word would have been Atma Anatma Sakala Padartha Jnaha. Jnaha means he who knows that. So he who knows everything. No. Tattvajna. They have to understand the essence of everything. How is it constructed? How is it a part of this creation? What is the evolution of that? How does it fit into this entire system? Only then you will care for the world. If you don't understand what is the significance of this particular thing, you don't care for it. How does the genuine care or that compassion come out? Only when I realize, only when I have understood what is its value, where is it placed, and why and how important it is for that particular thing to be occupying that space in the world. And when we have a thorough understanding of all these things, we are called as Tattvajna. Otherwise, it is not Tattvajnanam. It is just a surface level Jnanam. That surface level Jnanam is of no use. We have to understand the essence of it. That Tattvajnana is important. So the Tattvajnanam makes someone a Vidwan, not a mere trivial knowledge of things. People can be trivially, they are very good. Earlier, it used to be considered as high IQ. Nowadays, all you need is a good fat subscription to ChatGPT. That's all. If you're rich enough and if you can afford, the top end of technology, then you are the master. You know everything. I mean, you can know everything. There is a difference between both of them. You know everything and you can know everything is hugely different from one another, isn't it? So that's why Sakala Padartha Tattvajna, Atmanatma Sakala Padartha Tattvajna. However, what does our Ramayana Shiromanikara Shiva Sahaya say about Vidwan? Vidwan Sarvajnaha, finished one word. He did not even bother to kind of elaborate on it. Vidwan means Sarvajnaha, finished. Let us move on. Not that he did not bring out the essence. A person who had so many things to say, so many angles to offer for Sarva Bhuteshu Kohitaha, he finishes it off in one word, Vidwan Sarvajnaha. It's almost as if he gave a secondary word for that and finished it off. But we do require a little bit of more insight, because Sarvajna, we don't understand what Sarvajna means, isn't it? So that's why that Atmanatma Sakala Padartha Tattvajnaha encompasses, it gives this idea, and it connects with the previous qualities as well. Our idea is not just looking at these qualities in an individual sense. I want you to hold on to these dots, that is, these attributes, and then try to connect them, how they complement one another, how they complete one another. So it is not like we have listed out 16 qualities, 16 attributes. 50% should be fine. No, if I have 8 out of 16, I should be fine. That's not the attitude, because it is not about the number of qualities. It is about how they are interlinked and how they complete and complement one another. That needs to be understood. Only then we'll be able to kind of understand the whole structure. The 360-degree outlook of Rama and Ramayana will emerge. So the next task is, after having gone through all these 16 qualities, I've given one example for each and every attribute, isn't it? That is not the idea, you see. I promise you that each and every episode, you pick any random episode from Ramayana. This is on record, by the way. You pick any random episode of Ramayana, and if you have enough stuff with you, if you have enough caliber in you to dig deeper into that episode, you will find all these 16 attributes in a beautiful manner emerging in Rama, in its fruition, in its completion, in its absolute beauty, in each and every episode. I'm not simply making this up. Otherwise, he is not considered as Paripurna. He is not considered as Ramo Vigrahavan Dharma. It has to be complete. He is Purna. That's why it reflects in each and every action that he did, each and every activity, each and every accomplishment that he ever had. It reflects in all his accomplishments. We just need that eye to see that. Nazariye ki baat. That's all. I remember the famous TV serial, Tarak Mehta Ka Ulta Chashma. Back in the beginning days of Tarak Mehta Ka Ulta Chashma, where they still used to play the first half of the title song and all. This was because it is based on a famous novel by Tarak Mehta, who was a great author. Right, he's a Gujarati author, and based on his novels and short stories, this entire characters are built. So problem to hai sabke saath, bas nazariye ki hi baat. This is the tagline that Tarak Mehta, the original author, actually had. So that nazariya, that drishtikona, as we call it in Kannada, that drishtikona is important. Bari drishti idru agalla, konanthara idru agalla, drishtikona irbeku. So most of the times people will have only drishti, the ability to see they will have. Sometimes people, even though they have the ability to see, they will forget that, and they will act as a bull, a kona, maybe a buffalo. Absolutely idiotic. Okay. So that's why I said we need to have both of them together. That drishti kona should be there. That the way of looking at things is very important. How we look at things It's very important. Therefore, Vidvatta is going to, like, now you may be able to realize what is the value that Vidvatta brings in a person. If he is aware of all these things, just imagine how he will be presenting himself, how he will be, articulating the dharma to the world. That's where Rama excelled, because he was a Vidwan. One example for Rama's Vidvatta. Okay. See, when it comes to Mantropadesha, I'm going to finish this in one class today. Not much, because I still have around 20 odd minutes. So I thought that, we'll narrate the story as well, so that you don't miss the story part, not just the explanation today. A revision, a new quality, and the story. Speed dekh rahe hain aap? Can be phenomenal. I told you. You never know how it is going on. All right. Now, Bala and Atibala, these were the two Vidyas that were actually bestowed upon Rama by none other than Vishwamitra. And Vishwamitra was so gracious that he taught him everything that he knew. Not a single thing. See, I'll tell you, how do you identify a great student? Okay. I once had asked this question to my teacher. How do you identify a great student? They say that you should not give vidya to someone who is not idante na tapaskaya na cha shushrushave. Just like how Krishna mentions at the end of Bhagavad Gita, that he who doesn't have tapasya, you should not give this vidya to them. It's very important. All vidya transactions happen upon examination, upon proper examination. Only when they find that, yes, this is the right person, the vidya is imparted. But the question is, how does a guru get to know whether this person is capable enough to get that vidya or not? He has the ability, he has the vidya, he is vidyavan. Who is vidyavan? The guru is vidyavan. And he also possesses the ability to impart that. It's not that he is not aware of articulating it. It's not that he is not aware of how to transfer it, transcend it. He has all the knowledge required, the bare minimum knowledge required to transfer the knowledge. But if you ever find yourself in that position of a guru, if you have to impart the knowledge, if you have to transfer the knowledge, if the knowledge transfer has to happen, I think knowledge transfer is a corporate word nowadays. They say, they use the same word, I guess. Handing over your job to the next person who is coming in your position, they call it as knowledge transfer, I believe, the same word they use. Anyway, so if that is supposed to happen, if such kind of knowledge transfer is supposed to happen, how does a guru identify the potential in a shishya? There should be something that a guru sees in a shishya. And if we make a list after asking hundreds of gurus, if we make a list of all the key points, key characteristics that they mention about a shishya, most of them would tell you that, जब सही ಸರಿಯಾದಂಥ ಶಿಷ್ಯ ಬಂದಾಗ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅಂತ. This is an answer that usually the gurus will tell you. And that is not a very satisfying answer for anybody, because you are expecting something. So how do you identify that? See, one quality that cannot be described in one word, but I have to put a few words to describe how it is. It is basically something where the guru feels like a cloud, a black cloud, okay, and filled with water. You can imagine that kind of a cloud, right? A dark cloud about to shower, about to leave all its water onto earth. All it needs is a small push, a favorable wind. And once it gets clashed with another one, it begins to shower. Right? That is exactly how the transfer of vidya also happens. They identify whether this person has the ability to hold on to everything. And how do they identify? They get a sense that whatever I know, I should empty it. I should give everything. That sense indicates whether the person who is receiving it is going to be a vidwan or not. It happens only when the receiver possesses the ability of a vidwan. If the person receiving is not capable enough to become a tattvajna, then the Guru Tattvam will not even move an inch. That is there. Okay. So it's not one. I have always been fascinated with Rama's life. For me, there are plenty of great Shishyas. Of course, Arjuna tops the list, no doubt about that. But we are talking about Ramayana, I see. So in true perspective of Ramayana, if you have to ever find a Vidwan, see, a great Vidwan has to essentially be a great Shishya. That's the point I was trying to highlight. So you fixate, you try to understand the characteristics, the features of a great Shishya in Rama, you get to know that आगे जाके ये बहुत बड़ा विद्वान बनेगा. Just know, ಬೆಳೆಯುವ ಪೈರು ಮೊಳಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ. Oh, how do you know? You know, isn't it? Then maybe plant parents won't know. But Krishikaru, they will know. Those who are true farmers, cultivators, they know. ಬೆಳೆಯುವ ಪೈರು ಮೊಳಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ. They get to know. And they are accurate. Their predictions are 100% accurate because they have been doing that, because they have understood that. So when they identify the potential, the identification of potential itself is a sign of what is coming in future. Very rarely it will falter. Very rarely it will go away. And we have heard this story 100 times in 100 different fields. The way they identify the Shishya, remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. Okay. There are two important gurus who played a significant role in shaping Rama. Okay. They made what Rama actually is. They made Rama the intellectual giant that he is in the understanding of Dharma. If you see that Rama is capable enough to, uttarottara yuktinam vakta vachaspatiryatha, as Valmiki puts it across. When it comes to uttarottara yukti, to come with consequent substantial evidences, nobody was equivalent to Vachaspati, Brihaspati. And Rama was similar to Brihaspati when it comes to this kind of substantial evidences, or finding substantial evidences, or presenting substantial evidences one after the other to convince people. So that ability was found out by two people. First one is Vishwamitra. We all know the story. So let me take you to Balakandam. Rama is born. Unlike Krishna Janmotsava, Krishna Janmashtami, so much Bala Leela and all those things. No Bala Leela for Rama. He is meant for great things. And I'm not comparing Rama and Krishna, don't get me wrong, but not needed. So Valmiki finishes off Rama's childhood in one chapter, not even one entire chapter, 10 shlokas finished. He was a Balaka, he was born, he was a Balaka, he studied, he turned out to be great, he was 16 years old, in comes Vishwamitra. That's it. Story. Look at the speed in which he travels. Now, Vishwamitra appears in the court of Dasharatha. Dasharatha was very happy. Obviously, who wouldn't be happy if someone like Vishwamitra visits your place? So he was jumping out of his throne, and he welcomed him, Padya, Arghya, Chamaniya, all those things, pleasantries and complimentaries, exchanged. And in this duration, or in this moment, Dasharatha gives his word. Bhagavan, whatever you seek, it shall be yours. He gave his word. Whatever you ask of me, it shall be yours. I'll grant it. I will ensure that I will get it done for you. He asks him twice. He asked him again, "You sure, Allah? Are you sure?" And he said, "Yes, yes, of course." He was like, "What could he ask me?" Arrogance, you see. What could he ask me? Whatever he asked me, generally they will need some cattle, okay, some funding, दे देते हैं. इसमें क्या बड़ी चीज है? He agreed. Then comes the Ashanipata. Okay. The lightning struck. The lightning doesn't strike twice, isn't it? It strikes only once. So Vishwamitra, in very clear words, without mincing, he mentions that, "Send me your elder son Rajiva Lochana Rama with me to protect my yaga, which is haunted by the Rakshasas, funded by so and so, the terrorist organization." Okay. So that's how he calls upon him. He's like, Swaputram Rajashardula, Ramam Satyaparakram, Kakapakshadharam. Kakapakshadhara is a beautiful description. Kakapakshadhara is, he's still getting his beard. He's not completely matured enough. So, Kakapakshadharam Viram Jeshtham me Datumarhasi. You can give me your son, your elder son Rama, to me. For what? All these things. Dasharatha was like, struck with a lightning. And he said, "How is this even possible? How can you even ask? After so many years, after so much of tapasya, I've got these four sons. And amongst all four of them, Rama is my Priyatamaha. He is the sweetest of all children for me. I'm very fond of him." If Vishwamitra had supposedly asked Shatrughna or Bharata or Lakshmana, maybe Dasharatha would have said, "Oh, we'll take him. We'll take all of them. We don't worry. Don't ask Rama." But Vishwamitra asked Rama. And now the counter offer begins. Negotiation. IAM. Well versed, Dasharatha. So he puts forth some arguments and he says that, see, you are saying that Rama has to go and fight Rakshasas. I don't think he's still capable enough. His training is not up to the mark yet. This is how parents underplay their children's capabilities, isn't it? You remember all the childhood trauma now. We never realized it was childhood trauma until this wokeism came out, and the current generation taught us that, oh, this can traumatize children. What? I had not even heard trauma. I'll tell you, my interaction with the word trauma was in a hospital where they used to have trauma center. That is my understanding of trauma. What nonsense is it? Childhood trauma, adulthood trauma? What trauma? Nothing. It was normal. And we turned out to be decent people. Let me be honest. Okay, anyway, we're coming back. So Dasharatha offers that, "I'll come with you. I'll bring all my army and I'll protect your yajna. I don't want you. Okay. And you are not supposed to be like this. You have already given your word. Okay. Karyasya na vimarshancha gantumarhasi suvrata." Because these are the words that Dasharatha spoke to Vishwamitra. He said that you need not worry about the intensity of the work that you want to get it done from me. So, karta chaham asheshena, whatever you ask me, I will get it done completely. Karta chaham asheshena karta. I'll do it fully, thoroughly. Okay. Why? Because Daivatam hi bhavan mama. You are the God to me. You are the Bhagavan to me. After having said all these things, then you start negotiating with Bhagavan. Appa devre, ಇದೊಂದು ಕೆಲಸ ಪಾರು ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಬಿಡಪ್ಪ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಹರಕೆ ಹೊತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡೋದು ಫಸ್ಟ್. ಈ ಕೆಲಸ ಆದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಇಷ್ಟು ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ. Okay. Let me put it in English. There are other people as well. So it's like people mannat mangna. People will go and seek something from Bhagavan, from God. "Oh God, please help me. Please get this job done for me. I will give you so and so. I will do, I will visit your temple 10 days regularly without fail." The job gets done. Okay. Then on the 7th day, this fellow, like, "See, my body is hurting. You are Antaryami. You know everything. You are Sarvajna, Sarvashakta. Okay. Can you not give me some discount? I've done 7 days out of 10 days. 7 days is a great thing. This is negotiation skill. That's exactly how Dasharatha also started to negotiate. I will come myself. I'll send my army. I'll send the best of the warriors from Ayodhya. He said, no, I want Rama. You may not know what Rama's potential is, but I know what Rama's potential is. One of the iconic lines of Ramayana comes out from Vishwamitra's mouth when he tells in the entire Sabha, he speaks to Dasharatha and he says, Aham vedmi mahatmanam Ramam satyaparakramam. Vasishthopi mahatejaha ye cheme tapasisthitaha. You think you know your son, but you don't know. You have no clue whatsoever what Rama is. Aham vedmi mahatmanam Ramam satyaparakramam. I know what a great Mahatma Rama is. I know what satyaparakrami Rama is. Not only me, Vasishthopi mahatejaha. Your Kulaguru Vasishtha, because he is a Brahmajnani. Rama means Parabrahma. Who is speaking? Vishwamitra is speaking. Who is Vishwamitra? Vishwamitra is a Brahmarshi. So what is the highest jnanam that one can have, which will consider him as Vidwan, as Panditaha? Panda Atma Jnanam. Shankara Bhagavad in his Gita Bhashim. Panda means Atma Jnanam. He who possesses that Atma Jnanam is called as Pandita. See? So simple. Jnanagnidagdha karmanam tamahu Panditam Budhaha. Bhagavad Gita again. So many instances where Brahmajnanam or Atmajnanam is considered as the highest knowledge. And who is saying all these things? When a Brahmajnani says that I know Rama, what does it mean? He's talking about Brahmajnanam, isn't it? So, Parabrahma or that Paramatma, that Bhagavan itself can be Sarvajna, isn't it? Sarvasharvashivasthanuho. He is Sarvaha. He is called as Sarvajna as well. You find it in Vishnu Sahasranama as well. He is Sarvajna. Therefore, he is Vidwan. If anybody is eligible to be called as Vidwan, it is Rama. It is Paramatma who is eligible to be called as Vidwan. But my point of view here is, who can call him as Paramatma? Who can identify him as Vidwan? Not me, not you, none of us. We can't identify Rama as Vidwan. Only a Brahmajnani can attest that he is a Vidwan. Are you with me on this? That's why this particular incident shows what kind of a jnani, what kind of a Vidwan Rama was. Because he was identified by a Brahmajnani like Vishwamitra. It was attested by a Brahmajnani like Vasishtha. And he goes further, Vishwamitra, and says that Ye cheme tapasisthitaha. Not only the both of us, not only the two of us, but those who are immersed in tapasya, they also know what Rama is, what that Rama Tattva is, who Rama truly is. So you have to, if you are not convinced with my argument, go ask your Kula Purohita. He will tell you. Not only are you, acting adharma because you have given your word and now you want to change your word. That is adharma, basically. Not only are you indulging yourself in an act of adharma, but you are also forgetting that who are attesting what Rama is. If at all you want to know who Rama is, there are only handful of people who understood what Rama is. And amongst them, first amongst them, the finest amongst them is Vishwamitra. The way Vishwamitra nurtured, polished Rama, you don't find a better duo of a mentor and a mentee. What a fantastic internship that Rama had. Rama underwent this internship under Vishwamitra, isn't it? And it was under Vishwamitra that he got Bala and Atibala Vidya. The Vidya that will help him to get everything. He can overcome all obstacles. And if it was not sufficient, Vishwamitra also gave all the astras. Everything that he knew, all the astras. And he had got it from Parameshwara himself. He delivered all of that to Rama. I'll tell you the siddhi of Vidya. When Rama received that Vidya, it did not take much time for Rama, for all those Vidyabhimani devatas to stand in front of him like this. This is the description that Valmiki says. Okay. They all stood in front of them. Sarve pranjalayastada. Shloka number 25 in chapter number 27 of Balakandam. Okay, sometimes you have to quote like a scholar, otherwise, people will think I simply make up all these stories. Yeah. I do have a text in front of me, but they won't believe it. No. Quotation. क्या quotation देते हैं गुरुजी? Okay, sometimes you have to be that Guruji as well who gives quotation correctly, properly. Like an academic idiot, you have to give. Okay, fine. Now, all those mantras, the mantra abhimani devatas, they stood in front of Rama, pranjalayaha, with folded hands. Bhagavan, what should we do? Ajñapaya, you give me an order. Now, what Rama said to them, Manasame bhavishyadham. Remain in my heart. I'll call upon you when it is the time. And that is Vidvat for you. If this is not Vidvat, if this does not explain you what scholarship is, I don't know if you can find any better explanation than this for scholarship. The very Vidya that you are pursuing, imagine this, if you are a musician pursuing Sangeeta Vidya, and the Sangeeta Abhimani Devata comes in front of you with folded hands and asks you that, what should I do? Now that is the true sign of you being a Vidwan. ವಿದ್ಯೆಯನ್ನ ಕರಗತ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವುದು ಪಾರಂಗತ. When they say all these words, karagata, parangata, what does it mean? It means that they have completely imbibed that vidya. That vidya has surrendered to a person. To that person to whom the vidya herself surrenders is known as a vidwan. Okay. The rest of them are orators. Orators, not vidwan. Vidwan is different. Don't use these words for ಐರಗೆರೆ people. ಕಾಂಜಿ ಪಿಂಜಿ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದವ್ರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಬಹಳ ದೊಡ್ಡ ವಿದ್ವಾಂಸರು, ದೇಶದ ಪ್ರತಿಷ್ಠಿತ ವಿದ್ವಾಂಸರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಬ್ರು. ಯಾವ ಪ್ರತಿಷ್ಠೆನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಬರೀ ಒಣ ಪ್ರತಿಷ್ಠೆ ಅದಷ್ಟೇ. ವಿದ್ವತ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆನ್ ವಿದ್ಯಾ ಹರ್ಸೆಲ್ಫ್, ವಿದ್ಯಾ ಸ್ವಯಂ ವೃಣುತೆ ಯಂ ಸಹ ವಿದ್ವಾನ್. ಇಫ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಪುಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ, ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಟೆಲ್ ಇನ್ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ಆಸ್ ವೆಲ್. ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತನೂ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನನಗೆ ಅಂತ. ವಿದ್ಯಾ ಹಿ ಯಂ ವೃಣುತೆ ಸ ಏವ ವಿದ್ವಾನ್. Okay, I also know poetry as well. This is a line in poem as well. Otherwise, people will not count you as a scholar anymore, because scholarship is always defined with your ability to speak in multiple languages, to write poems. हम भी करते हैं महाराज, हम भी किया करते थे पहले. It's not something. कौन सी बड़ी बड़प्पन है? बड़प्पन किसमें है? When the Vidya herself comes and stands in front of you, like how they did to Rama. Manasame bhavishyadham, and I'll call upon you when the time is right. That is Vidvata. That is how he is known as a Vidwan. And lastly, in 2 minutes I'll conclude this. Another significant figure that Rama meets in his life, who shaped Rama's life, who shaped what Rama is Agastya. Not many people are aware that the kind of role that Agastya plays. Agastya and Rama's meeting happens only twice in the entire Ramayana. Once in his ashrama itself, where Rama goes and meets him, and Agastya gives him even few more astras, Vidya Dhanam. No muhurta, no internship required, no application required, no test, no examinations, nothing. Rama is there. That is the true sign of a Vidwan. So Vidya should be given to those people where the guru finds that Vidya will remain intact. Vidya will remain surakshita. That's where you transfer the Vidya. So Agastya did that. And in spite of all these things, because Rama was in the human form, he went through that blank moment in his life where he found himself helpless. You remember, Tato yuddha parishrantam samare chintaya sthitam ravanancha agrato drishtva yuddhaya samupasthitam daivateshcha samagamya. Who came to his rescue? Agastya came to his rescue. That is the sign of a great guru. So these are the two great gurus who actually shaped what Rama is. And that goes on to show the importance of guru as well, isn't it? We may underplay that. Yeah. Nothing like Vishwamitra and Agastya. The amount of contribution that both Agastya and Vishwamitra have given to Rama and in shaping, in forming Rama's character, phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. That's how he became a Vidwan. So behind every Vidwan, there should be a source from where it all gets passed. So that's why I showed you these two incidents, which highlights Rama's Vidvatta. There are other episodes as well, there are other incidents as well where you will find Rama's scholarship, the way he questions Bharata when Bharata comes to meet him. Kachit Sarga, the 100th Sarga of Ayodhya Kandam, where Rama questions in the disguise of questioning Bharata, he describes what are the responsibilities of a king. It's a fantastic insight that is Vidvatta. The whole of Arthashastra summarized in 100 shlokas, 100 odd shlokas. That is brilliant. And the way when the conversation between Rama and Bharata happens on dharma, should Rama come back or should Rama stay back? And when Vasishtha, Jabali, so many rishis, when they put forth their arguments, Rama counter argues them and puts forth his point that describes his Vidvatta. There are so many incidents where Rama has displayed his Vidvatta, and not to forget, it is personal favorite as well, not to forget his military strategizing. Yeah, only 7 human beings were there. The rest of them were all monkeys. And he strategized, he puts forth a plan, he lays down a plan on how to attack, how to siege, how to formulate, how to move an entire army. Where will you get all this knowledge if he's not a Vidwan? I mean, these are some of the simple examples that I can quote for Rama's Vidvatta. But what strikes out or what is outstanding when it comes to Rama's Vidvatta is the very fact that Vishwamitra chose him, Agastya chose him to deliver all the Vidya they had. It means that, and there is one line in Ramayana which I am very fond of. Lokanathopamam natham akamayata medini. There are two types of kings. Okay. The kings who choose the land they want to govern, and the land that chooses the king to get governed. Rama belonged to the second category. Rama did not choose the land. The land chose Rama as its governor, as her king, as her bharta. That is Rama for you. So it's not just about that bhumihi identifying and finding Rama. It is Vidya as well. Vidya found Rama. Vidya went that this is the person where I'm going to stay. That is the true sign of Vidvatta Rama had. That is why Valmiki asked that question, Vidwan. This level of Vidvatta should be there in a person. All right. So with these concluding remarks, I would like to bring an end to this session, and we'll continue in the next week, taking up the remaining 7 more qualities to go. We'll try to finish them. Okay, try to understand them, finish them in the sense. And I hope all these things are actually making an impact, and you're making a note of it. And at the end of the day, if all these things are helping you to see Ramayana, see Rama in a different light, in a different perspective, then I think I have done a decent job. The idea is not just to present in front of you the story of Ramayana, which you are already aware of. There are hundreds and thousands of orators. I won't call better orators, but good, decent orators who can narrate you the story, who can narrate you the story of Ramayana in a more fancier way. I'm not here for fancy competition, you see. I'm here to deliver. I'm here to, like, you remember P.B. Shelley? Yeah. Was a great English literary critic. He wrote a work called as The Defense of Poesy, The Defense of Poetry. Okay. So my words are the defense of Rama. That's all. I don't care whether it is fancier or not. Doesn't really matter to me. Okay. A defense lawyer doesn't worry about all the theatrics, you see. A defense lawyer worries about his evidences. A defense lawyer puts forth his argument in such a precise way that the jury gets convinced. He doesn't care what the media writes about him. He doesn't care whether he gives them juicier headlines and gets all the spotlight. Who wants that? You need to defend the case of Rama. That's what I'm doing here. Okay. In order to do that, I have 16 substantial evidences to present in front of the great jury members, and I've been doing a decent thing, I guess. So 9 of them we have finished. So the remaining 7, we will take it up in the upcoming weeks. Thank you very much for your patience. And I hope to see you all next week. Just part of the homework, just to keep you engaged for the next week. Come with a couple of examples that you have found of a true Vidwan. When I say a true Vidwan, not essentially your teacher, sorry. Okay, not your teacher. Okay, a Brahmajnani. Read some of the anecdotes from the lives of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Ramana Maharshi, Aurobindo, such kind of stalwarts, or Chandrasekhara Bharati Swamigal, or Kanchi Periya Swamigal. Read about them. Try and understand what made them a Brahmajnani, what elevated them to that stage, and how, if you are able to identify how Vidya chose them, then you have hit the jackpot. Then you have understood what Vidvata truly means. This is the assignment for the next week. I know it's a very difficult assignment, but who said that I give only easier assignments? So I want you to explore these kind of things, because the true beginning, the humble beginning of our pursuit of Atmajnanam lies in understanding the stalwarts. When you read the history of the life history of Chandrasekhara Bharati Swamigal, you realize that what a phenomenal person he was. Are we even capable enough to call him a person is a different thing. But the way Vidya gets imbibed into them, that is fascinating. You don't find that in a normal human being. I want you to identify such scenarios, such episodes in other, in people, in Brahmajnanis. That way it will serve you. I want you to set a bar so high that you are never misled or given a misdirection towards someone. Don't go by the words the Nirupakas, the hosts, tell about a certain scholar, about a certain person in functions. They're quite misleading. They have a free hand with language and they say whatever that comes to their mind. Ashesha Shastra Vidwan. No, please don't use such kind of words to describe a human being. It's impossible. Where is the Brahmajnanam? It is something that we have taken for granted. Using the words to some people, we have taken it for granted. No, they are reserved for only few people. The word Vidwan is reserved for a person who is an Atmajnani essentially. The word Guru is earmarked for a person who has the ability to guide you in the pursuit of Atmajnan. The rest of the people, the mentors, the teachers, you have plenty of other words. No? You have Shikshaka, you have Acharya, you have Upadhyaya. Use those words. Why do you have to say Guru for everybody? Not everybody is a Guru. Okay. They must have identified that Vidya or that Parabrahma Vastu, like how Vishwamitra identified Rama, like how Agastya identified Rama, like how Vasishtha identified Rama. We are talking about elite, and we should not bring it down just because it suits it. It is fancier. Again, see, this is the problem with fancy dress competition. You see, people think that by dressing up as Shivaji, they become Shivaji. If only it was that easy, my dear friends. If only it was that much easier. It is not, isn't it? It's not. So one should not get confused between the fancier things and the actual thing. Actual Vidvatta is different. Fancier Vidvatta is different. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So we'll meet again next week. Thank you. Thank you so much. Namaskar.